Today we're going to talk about the desert and review the Sonoran Desert. And our first vocabulary word that we're going to review today is the word camouflage. And to camouflage something means to blend in or hide in the natural surroundings. So, for example, the green color of leaf insects helps to camouflage them or hide them in the forest. And we talked about some of your dads or grandpas or brothers might go hunting and they might wear their camouflage colors to blend in with the colors of the trees. Browns and greens and camouflage hunting clothes to blend in when they go hunting deer or turkey. Okay, the next word is carnivore. It's an animal that consumes other animals. And an example would be a polar bear is a carnivore that eats seal and other fish. So that would be a carnivore if the animal eats other animals. The next word is herbivores. Those are, do you know what those are? That's right, animals that eat only plants or plant products. So remember what we talked about. If we remember the word herb, so you think herbivores. So if they're digging up herbs or they're digging up roots, I said that my uncle was a person who goes out and digs up herbs and roots. So, but of course, herbivore would be an animal who just eats that, who just eats plants, okay? Nocturnal is active at night. So bats would be a nocturnal animal. They just come out at night to hunt. Bats do. Another word is omnivore. Do you remember what that is? Omnivore. Okay. An omnivore is an animal that's going to eat both. That's right. Both plants and other animals. So an animal that would eat both, can you think of an animal that would eat both? Okay. A grizzly bear would be one that would eat both. He would eat fish. He would also eat berries when he would go out in the woods. So omnivore is going to eat both. All right. The next one is scavengers. Animals that eat meat and waste left by other animals are scavengers. Those rats are quite the scavengers. They eat all the leftovers in the alley. So scavengers are going to eat whatever's left over. That's what scavengers is. You think about vultures being scavengers because they're just going to eat whatever's left over. We see those sometimes when we're driving down the road as birds that are eating all the leftover stuff from something that might be dead. Okay, now, so today, let's review the desert a little bit. This is something you might see in the desert. All right, we talked about this. What would this be? That's right, that is a cactus. Good. And cactuses, we talked about that they're going to be very prickly. We talked about them storing water, okay? And there's a close-up picture of the cactus, okay? So we're going to find those in the desert. And whenever we say plural, we call them cacti, okay? And it doesn't hardly ever rain in the desert, but when it does, this cactus is going to save and it's going to store huge quantities of water down in its roots and in its stem. This would be like the stem of the cactus. And then, of course, the root would be way down up underneath the bottom of it. But it's going to store huge quantities of water. And the cactus is going to save the extra water. And he's going to use it to survive during those long times when it's very dry and it doesn't rain. And then in the spring, white flowers are going to bloom on that cactus in the spring. See, it's spring now. So then in the spring, it's going to have white flowers are going to bloom. Okay. And then, let's look at another animal. Actually, that was the cactus. That was a plant. So now let's look at an animal that you're going to see in the desert. Do you remember what this is? Okay, that's right. This is a desert cottontail. And he looks a little bit like the Arctic hare that we saw in the tundra, but he has longer ears and longer back legs. And is he an herbivore, a carnivore, and or an omnivore? Do you remember? Okay, he's an herbivore. That's right. So he's going to eat animals that eat he is an animal that is going to only eat plants. He is not going to eat any other animal. He is just going to eat plants. So we call him an herbivore. So the desert cottontail is going to eat grass, and he's going to eat cacti too. And he always needs to watch out for larger animals in the desert that might eat him. Okay? And then another animal, ooh, look at this one. This is called a coyote. Coyotes are found all over the United States, including the Sonoran Desert. And this coyote has a light tan-colored coat, and it's going to help him reflect the sun's rays. That means that it's going to help him not get so hot. And it's also going to help camouflage it, because think about the desert. In the desert, what color is the desert? Yeah, it's sandy and it's brown in the desert. And coyotes are carnivores. So they're going to eat meat. That's right. They have a really good sense of smell, hearing, and vision, and they can run very fast. They're great hunters, and they're scavengers. So they're going to eat those leftover leftover animals that are left over. They're just going to eat the leftovers, okay? All right, now let me show you where the Sonoran Desert's located. So if you'll look right here at this map, this is our United States. There's the United States, and these are your different countries. North America's here, and then down up under here is the United States, and South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia. Now, in North America, which is the continent we live on, all those are continents. We live in North America. The United States is right in there. This yellow part highlights where your Sonoran Desert is, okay? So it's this little part here. It's what we're focusing on. Now, let me hop over to this map. This shows your United States, again, which is what we just looked at. But this yellow part shows your Sonoran Desert, and it covers a little bit of California. It goes down into Mexico, and also down into this part of Mexico. So your Sonoran Desert, and remember, we live in what state do we live in? Tennessee. That's right. So we're over kind of in the right side of the United States. Sonoran Desert's over here on the left side of the United States. Okay, now let's read the book that Miss Price had to share with you today. Okay, so now I'm going to read the book called Desert, in the Desert. We're going to talk about some different animals that you would find in the desert. It's dark, it's smooth, it's moist, it breathes and sniffs. It's a nose, of course, but who knows whose nose? It's the nose of a coyote, and a very good nose it is. A coyote's nose is 1,000,000 times better at smelling things than your nose. Thanks to its good sense of smell, a coyote can find food far away or underground. In bright light, this eye is just a narrow slit. After dark, it opens wide and looks for flies. I wonder what kind of animal that is. The eye belongs to a banded gecko. Geckos are lizards. They can walk on walls, ceilings, and even glass windows. Geckos will go almost anywhere to catch a fly. Oops, there he is. Are these white spiders, or are they part of a plant that wants to be left alone? What do you think that is? These are the spines of a desert cactus. Many desert animals would love to eat the cactus because it stores water in its stem. But animals do not want a mouthful of spines. When cactus spring rains come, the cactus blooms with colorful blossoms. If you shake this, it will rattle. But you don't want to shake this kind of rattle. It belongs to rattlesnake. It's actually, yes, Poisonous snakes like this diamondback rattlesnake use their rattles to warn other animals to stay away. They do not want to bite. They would rather be left in peace. These long whiskers belong to a small animal with a keen sense of smell. That one right there. This mouse eats grasshoppers. It is called a grasshopper mouse. It uses its long whiskers to sense when a coyote is near. When it feels movement, it scurries off. It does not want to be the coyote's meal. You could get stung by this if you go too close. Watch your step. It's the stinger at the end of a scorpion's tail. A scorpion stinger is filled with poison. If you sleep in the desert, shake out your shoes in the morning to make sure no scorpions have moved in. Is this leg hairy enough for you? If not, there are 7 more hairy legs where this one came from. Ugh. Tarantulas are the world's biggest spiders. Some are so large that they can eat lizards, small birds, and even mice. The hairs on a tarantula's legs vibrate slightly when other animals are moving nearby. The vibrations help the giant spider find its food. And this says, can you name these plants and animals? So what do you think that one is? That is the coyote. Good. This one would be the what? Gecko. That's a plant. Remember that one? That is the cactus. Good. And it stores the water in its roots and trunk. Carries it up through the roots. Stores them in its trunk there. And then this one would be the Diamondback Rattlesnake. That's just part of it there. That's the rattler. And then this one, it just shows a little bit of the grasshopper mouse there. It shows his whiskers. This one, scorpion. That one shows a little bit of the tarantulas or itsy bitsy parts of it. Okay. Yep, and there they are to show us. Okay, so that is that book. All right, now let me remind you, in the desert, there is hot, dry weather in the Sonoran Desert. There's not much rain. And do many plants and animals live in the desert? No, because it is very hot and very dry. And if you were to give someone directions on how to prepare to live in the desert, what would you tell them to take for their supplies? Food, water, probably some sunscreen with them because it's going to be hot and dry, and they're probably going to need a hat maybe, right? They're going to go to the Sonoran Desert. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to write me 2 sentences on a regular sheet of paper. Write 2 sentences about the desert. I want you to say, in the desert, something, 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 something. 2 sentences, capital letter, period. Okay. So capital letter, period, 2 sentences, in the desert. Write it on a sheet of paper and have your parents take a picture of it and send it to me in a dojo message. Okay? Have a great day, guys. I love you and miss you. Bye.